Time being 9 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need a motion to approve the agenda, but we're not going to be doing the strategic planning because we didn't give enough feedback yet to continue.
Okay.
So I'll give a motion to approve the agenda, taking the strategic planning meeting off.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Need a motion to approve the minutes from last week.
Move to approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Whitewater, you can come up for your EDA update.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'd actually hoped that we would be able to piggyback this update with the recommendation that I have for you on the agenda as well. We'll see as time comes in. I know that Emily isn't here just yet.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give you kind of a breakdown. I know it's been a while since we talked, so I wanted to kind of recap on 2015. And that we did make, we made a $65,000 loan to Crest Precast from our revolving loan fund to assist with a MIF project. So we contributed $65,000 and the state of Minnesota contributed $192,000 for an expansion out in La Crescent Township there. We also provided tax abatement agreements with Willard Woodruff Senior Apartments and the Caledonia Veterinary Clinic. And both of those projects are coming along as well. We made a loan to Nikki Rude so that she could establish a restaurant in Houston that was titled Lola's. That one was the loan. It was for 20,000. With the city of Houston coming in for another 5, and that loan did fail. So we're still in the process of collection on that one. We did make another $18,000 loan to Mike and Diane Schnell so they could reestablish a restaurant in Little Miami in Freeburg, and that restaurant is performing very well. We also made a loan to Elsie Babler here in town for Elsie's expansion, and that is going along as well. We did make a full collection on Corner Cafe in La Crescent as they closed their doors in fall of 2014. Since then, we've also collected the full amount of the flood loan that was remaining on Randy Munson Trucking in La Crescent. And we've assisted Caledonia as they're attempted to attract Tacticam to their city. We've updated the EDA bylaws, the revolving loan fund policies, and we have approved a loan to assist Greg Hoshite as he works with Gunderson to create an expansion at Lifestyle Fitness as well. We also held an EDA summit in March of last year to just kind of promote our activities, and we invited George Howe to come in, and he shared his documentary with us there. As far as what we have going on currently, we have had a request from Kids Corner of Caledonia to extend their abatement for 5 years, and we'll get to that in a little bit here. I've been working with some individuals who have been interested in developing small businesses. We have ongoing assistance to Caledonia in their EDA as they continue to work and try and find a spot for Tacticam. And there should be an upcoming application from a business in Spring Grove that's looking to expand, and that'd be a manufacturer there that's looking to expand, and I think add about 17 jobs. So that'd be a big one too. One other thing too, that I don't know if it's reached the full EDA yet or not, but I did tender my resignation with CETA last week on Thursday of last week. So I'll be here until March 10th. And so as we work in the transition, there will be somebody new will be coming in. So are there any questions for me?
You sure you want to leave? Huh?
It was a hard decision, but
Thanks, Sam, for all you've done too.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
So, the Kids Corner tax abatement, the
Mhm.
person will be coming in for this?
Yeah, I think so. We originally scheduled this update for 9:30, and then I was
Okay.
hoping to just kind of piggyback after that, but there was an update, and I just haven't heard from Emily yet.
Okay. So
Um,
if you want to go and check with her and then
Yeah.
come back in, when you
Sure.
come to the back, we'll just
Okay.
bring you forward.
Yeah, and she should be here shortly. So.
Okay, all right.
Do you know if Tacticam has found a location for their?
No, I
Facility?
don't know just yet. The last I had heard, I talked to Adam Swan and Matt Schultz on the EDA, the Caledonia EDA, and they had mentioned that they were in discussion with property owners, and then I reached out to the presidents of Tacticam, and they kind of were kind of at a standstill here. So I'll be trying to organize a meeting between them. And City Administrator Adam Swan, and then our regional representative from DEED, Kevin Kelleher, shortly, so that we can kind of see if there's anything that we can do to ensure that they're here.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Anyone have any other questions for Sam?
No.
Okay,
So we'll
I'll be
talk
back.
with you later. Okay,
Thank you.
yep. Is everyone here with you, Liz, that's coming? Okay, so if you guys would want to come forward and introduce yourselves.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
County Commissioners, good morning, everyone. I'm Liz Gibson-Gassé. I'm the director of the Houston Public Library, and with me today is Levon Beach, the director of the La Crescent Public Library, and Ashley Dress, who is the new director of the Caledonia Public Library. And as you know from your packets, we're here today to clarify your intentions regarding our current contract, which reimburses the libraries for services provided to the rural users of Houston County after the discovery of a small potential error in its preparation. And just to backtrack a little, in July of 2014, the 5 Houston Public Library directors came before you with our executive director of CELCO, the Regional Library Cooperative, to begin the process of negotiating the renewal of our contract with you, which was to end at the end of the fiscal year. At that time, we presented 2 options for your consideration, and I believe they included those in your packets. One was a proposal that increases were based on a 50-cent increase per capita per rural resident for Houston County for the 3-year proposed contract of 2015 to 2017, and the other was a 3% cost of living increase per year for the same duration. The charts all list the contracts that we've had back to 2006, and also very importantly the per capita support that brings your contribution up to for the residents of Houston County. We also gave you another chart at that time that outlined not just the per capita contribution from the city residents of the 5 cities in Houston County that are home to your libraries, but and also all the other cities within the CELCO region. That averages about $41.33 per city resident. It shows you also the 11 CELCO counties and the per capita support that comes in from the counties. Houston's at the time of that contract in 2014 was $15.01, whereas the average was about $18.89. And at that time, after discussing the per capita support, and it has long been our goal to sort of come to a more fair and equitable distribution of the funding that supports your libraries, we urge you to consider the slightly more expensive funding option, which was titled the 3% cost of living increase, because it did bring the Houston County per capita contribution for your rural residents slightly closer to, still a little bit lower than the 11 county average. And at your meeting on November 25th of 2014, you did vote upon that proposal. We were very grateful. It allows us to continue improving the services that we're offering for residents whether that's the hours that we're opening, the events and programs that we do, even the collection development that allows people to come in and check out books, movies, and DVDs free of charge. However, here we get to the problem. Recently, Ann Hutton, who's our executive director, was going over the contracts and discovered a calculation error that was made in the original proposal. And if you have that in front of you, while the numbers from 2014 to 15 did represent a 3% increase, there was an error in the calculation from 2015 to 16, which is more closer to a 6% increase. Therefore, even though the next increase from 16 to 17 was a 3% increase, it was based on an incorrect number, which calls the intention of the contract into question. So today I'm here to apologize for the error on behalf of all your public libraries and librarians, and to assure you that it was an inadvertent mistake. We in no way meant to mislead you in the preparations for this contract, and we feel we're doing an honorable thing to bring this to your attention as quickly as possible. However, I'm also here to respectfully request that you honor the amounts as originally listed in that contract for the remaining 2 years. I think that Ann was very fixated on the idea that an error was made in the formula used to come up with those numbers, but I believe from our discussions at those meetings in July that the actual focus and intention was to honor the numbers that were listed on the proposal, that were listed identically in the contract, which makes no reference to the formula itself. In addition, the difference for 2016 is about $4,000, and it's roughly another $4,000 for 2017. That's a very small percentage of your county budget, which is what, about $29 million a year. We're not funded at that level. It's also in your budget for 2016 already, where it's going to be very difficult for us 2 months into a fiscal year to go back and make the cuts we have to do to absorb that loss. I'm particularly concerned that it might affect our summer reading programs, which I think is one of the more important programming we do over the course of the year to try to provide activities and incentives for kids to continue exercising their mind over the summer when the schools are not in session. In particular, we feel that the smaller libraries who have smaller budgets are going to be disproportionately affected by these cuts because they are a higher percentage of their small budgets. And finally, we have 2 libraries that are in transition this year. Caledonia has a brand new director. HOKA also has a brand new director, and we feel they hardly need an additional challenge as they take on the responsibilities of their first year in charge. So in conclusion, we really deeply regret the mathematical error. We want to make a clean breast of it. We've always had an amicable relationship with you, and I've always wanted to, proceed on those kind of terms. But we still believe the intent of the contract was to grant us the specific dollar amounts that we asked for. And if you have any questions for us, we're happy to try to answer them. We don't want to take up a lot of your time, but we do want to clarify this potential problem.
Let me summarize. I spoke with Liz at length on the phone. So to summarize, basically the request was just a clarification whether we had voted to honor a 3% or we voted to honor the dollar amount. And that's where the questions got
Of
in.
intention, right?
Correct. I told Liz I couldn't speak for myself, so I'd recommend she come in and talk to the board as a whole. For myself, I usually look at the dollar amount, as that's the meat and potatoes of it. And so I had mentioned to her that it would have been my intention that it was the dollar amount, not necessarily the percentage, but we should probably come before the entire board and get a clarification so that they know which direction they're heading. So if that clarifies it.
Is that a motion?
Well, we kind of already, that's a tough one. We've kind of already made a motion. It's more or less just a clarification. I don't know, do we?
Well, is it my understanding that we are obligating ourselves to the 6% increase then?
That is what we're asking you to commit to,
Okay.
which
And,
which is the number that was on the
Right,
proposal
what-
that
yeah.
ended up in the contract.
okay.
And then the other 2 years would be at 3%,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a slightly higher because the base is higher.
And we gave the dollar amount, and
Yeah.
they base their budgets on that dollar
On
amount.
money, yeah, cash.
And it means them cutting something out of their budgets now.
Well, I guess my thing is if it was, I don't know, if we need a motion, I mean, I can.
I would feel better
Is-
clarifying it in a motion.
Yeah.
So if it's ever come to question, that we know what we've done.
I'm trying to think of how you would word that motion. I would motion to clarify the already existing and past motion that it was based on the dollar amount, and would reassure that that's the dollar amount given. Is that,
That's fine.
however you word that,
Well, yeah.
Michelle, you understand what I'm talking
Good luck.
about.
Does that make sense?
Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Is there discussion?
The only thing I'll say is, obviously, this was something that we had already voted on, so I wouldn't feel comfortable necessarily going back on that dollar amount now, as we're halfway through it. So it's only honorable that this is what was
But we
voted on, and this
appreciate
is
that.
what
Like I
we're
said,
doing.
it's a really important part of our budget. We try to make every dollar go a long way.
Mhm.
And as I said, 2 months into a fiscal year, when you find the mistake, you can't unlearn the mistake. And we did feel it was, to all of our best interest to bring it forward to you. It is kind of a unusual situation, but we just wanted to make a clean breast of it and talk to you about what your actual intention was.
Well, thank
Because the
you.
decision is actually yours and not ours.
And I think it's really good to just have it right out in the open
Thank you.
Yeah.
conversation, so we appreciate that.
Thanks for bringing it forward.
Is there any other discussion? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate your support.
Would anyone like to make a motion to put the consent agenda, the item on file?
Yeah, I'll move that the consent agenda be placed on file.
Second that?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business. Did you meet with, as a committee, the highway department?
No, we just got the appraisals.
Yesterday at
Yesterday.
3 o'clock.
Okay, so are you looking at scheduling a meeting soon, or where are we standing with that?
So,
Yep.
at this point, Brian and I are probably gonna talk to the city of Caledonia, find out if there are any objections, or concerns. If we do proceed on the existing site, we don't want any surprises before, or let's say, after an exchange has been made.
Okay. All right, I think that's good. So then we'll just get another report next
Right.
week?
Mhm.
Okay, let's try and keep that moving then. Sam, would you like to come back up again? Okay.
All right, good morning again.
Would you like to introduce the
This
person
is
real quick?
Emily Schrader from Caledonia Kids Corner. And we're here today to present a recommendation from the EDA that we move forward with the public hearing to extend tax abatement for 5 years to the business. Just a little bit of background. There was an agreement in place with Caledonia Kids Corner. In the original agreement it seemed to have been drafted for 10 years with as a planned abatement, but the agreement itself was only drafted for 5 years. So this would just be an extension to complete the full 10 years that were planned. The maximum value for the remainder of the remaining 5 years would be $8,300, and that'd be an average of $1,660 a year. And that would start with the taxable year 2016, which would be payable 2017. So it'd be from 2017 to 2022, I think. That's 5 years. So are there any questions from the commissioners?
Dana, the EDA board supports this, correct?
Yes, we voted on it, yep.
Yep.
We support it.
So, do we have a motion to go forward with it?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second that?
Is there any discussion? I'm really glad that we caught this before it got lost in the paperwork, because it was just a quirk in there. So thanks for coming in. Any other discussion on it? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in. Good luck with your business.
So, yeah, so then the next step would just be to set the hearing for Tuesday, the 15th. So
Okay.
that's,
Is that right?
I'll take care of
Tuesday, the 15th of,
March.
I don't
Sorry.
think we have a meeting that day.
No, we
Okay.
don't.
I'm sorry.
Actually,
Then-
we go either the 8th or the 22nd.
The thing about the hearing is it has to run 2 weeks.
Okay,
So the
22nd?
22nd then? I'll set it for the 22nd.
at 9:15.
And you'll be gone then, Sam?
I'll be gone, but
You'll-
I'll make
you'll-
sure somebody else.
You'll bring the new person up to
Yeah.
speed on it?
Yep. I'll make sure somebody else is here and knows what's going on. So.
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, what if we move on to commissioner reports and comments? Would you like to start, Commissioner Chomey?
Yes, last week I attended the Board of Adjustment meeting and as an observer, observed that. And then I probably should have told you last week, I've been working with Tess on going through the applicants of the maintenance facilities guy we're trying to replace.
Mhm.
And we're gonna be doing interviews on Friday. I should have told you that. I just thought, I've been in maintenance for quite some time. It'd be good for me to get in and help her out with that, so I'm just bringing you up to speed on that.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Okay.
I had a safety meeting last Tuesday covering disaster recovery, with Tess and department heads. I also attended the Board of Adjustment on the 18th, and I was called to the Justice Center on the 19th for equipment discussion. We have some failures over there to go over. It's being looked into. At any rate, yesterday I had Selco orientation, which was with me, and yesterday evening township officers meeting, which we discussed. I guess the big thing is upcoming for finances and upcoming annual meeting in April.
Okay.
That was it.
Do they have a date for it in April?
They do, but I can't remember it.
Okay, maybe
I'll
we'll
bring it next
follow
time.
up.
Yep.
That'd be great. Thank you. I had the safety committee meeting and it was well attended. And I had CJC on Wednesday, and I think that's all I had. Oh, one other thing I kind of like to bring up during this part of our discussion is I'd like to add something to our policy on, I don't know exactly which policy we put it under, but it came to our attention last week that we don't have any policy on like cameras left in the room and people leaving them behind. And the concern is that if someone's not there, we're not, it could be a, something could happen to the camera while they're out of the room. We don't want to be liable for that. So I think it would be better if we could put it in our policy somewhere that if you have audio visual equipment in the room, you need to stay with it, just so that it doesn't become a liability for us. So how do you guys feel about adding that to, I don't know which policy we put it in, but
So you're thinking kind of like attending your bags at the airport? Just
right,
having-
They don't want you on
yeah.
the
I think
cameras.
it's important to establish it before something happens,
Mhm.
so that we're not liable for the equipment in here.
Or
But
it doesn't explode,
Yeah,
you know?
it could be anything, I
Yeah.
mean, so, I don't,
We can work on that.
we
Figure
could
out
work
where
on
we
it and
can
bring
put
it back to the
It
next
could be a
meeting, if
problem if
that's
we went
okay.
into closed session, nobody here to shut their camera off. You
Yeah.
might accidentally get, you might accidentally get something recorded you
Right.
don't want it.
Right. So we'll figure it out, we'll bring it back to the next meeting and look for approval. Okay, so Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the Claims, Human Services, and License Center disbursements?
So moved.
Second that?
Is there any discussion? I'm sorry.
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The airport lease.
Did we sign that?
Basically, this is just a formality. We've already approved the new lease agreement, and as they're trickling in, we need signatures, so I don't think we really need a motion.
Okay, we already did have a motion.
Correct.
Mhm, remember that.
Okay, signed, done.
Thank you.
And then we have a request for approval of a Gopher Sportsman's Club gambling permit.
Move to approve.
I'll
Gotta have
second.
gambling.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to come before the board?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
When you guys do your reports, can you actually report, like, it really tells us nothing that I attended the Board of Adjustment. I attended the Board of Adjustment.
Correct.
That tells us nothing. That tells you guys nothing. How do you know what is there to report if that's the report?
Board of Adjustment had two hearings. One was on the Dylan Becker application for a building addition. And the second was a hearing in regard to Brian Van Gorp, Jackie and Corey Baker, Rosemary Iverson, what you call it? Yeah, there was a continuation of that hearing regarding the Erickson mine.
And at our CJC meetings, we just go over the policies that they're working on in the CJC building in the courtrooms.
And nothing stood out? I mean,
No.
When nothing stands out, it's the policy of you guys as a board to just, we went over this and that's basically the message?
Great. And some things that, like, sometimes there might be something we can't bring back that's just
No, I understand
Okay.
that. I mean, I'm not saying that piece, but just,
okay.
I see what you're getting at, though, more detailed. What is-
yeah, it's pointless to report. Why bother wasting people's time if your report is I was there?
It's a good point.
Mhm.
Why were you there?
We'll try and make it more
As
detailed.
the Board of Adjustment, we weren't required to be,
No.
I was there as an observer, so it wasn't one of our scheduled meetings.
You know, we kind of started doing this as documentation for your per diems also.
Yeah, and I don't know that this warrants a per diem. You know, it's not, I was there on my
No,
own,
I'm not charging
my
per
own
diem.
interest, at my own interest,
No,
so
my-
it really wouldn't
my-
warrant.
It wasn't something we were
No,
required to be
not
at.
required to be to.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Anything else to come before the board? Do we have a motion to adjourn? Oh, and remember, we have
1 o'clock. Joint public.
joint Board of Public Health in Mabel at the
At 1
Community
o'clock.
Center at 1 o'clock.
Yep, today.
Yep, today. And the next department head meeting is rescheduled for March 1st. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll
Second.
second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.